Monster Island Secrets.
Monster Island Buddies Episode 100, World War G, served as a finale for the larger story told before it, and it premiered April 29th, 2017. After that episode, I took a bit of a break from the channel for a few months as I was planning its soft reboot. See, as much as I loved making the skits, I had so much more to say about my interests and hobbies. So on July 4th, 2017, the channel relaunched with 4 videos: the very first playtime, the first Orga reviews, the first comic book review, and a brand new Monster Island Buddies sketch. Figuring out how to incorporate the characters into the reboot was a challenge. At one point, every show was going to be hosted by a character, but then it would be weird not being able to speak for me. With Orga, it works because he basically is me in a way. He's been my avatar into the Monster Island Buddies universe. So I decided Orga can have his show, but the rest would be hosted by me. And thus was born the Hands era of the channel. Although you could argue it started in the original run, when I did that April Fool's toy review video, and a few other minor appearances as myself. After Monster Island Buddies episode 100, I started having ideas for comedic sketches that I actually wanted to shoot with myself and my friends. One of those sketch ideas was about 3 guys who were getting pumped to go to a huge barbecue event called Apocalypse. And after all this enthusiasm and build-up, the punchline was going to be that Apocalypse was not a huge event, but just some suburban dad having a very small family barbecue that these 3 guys would just burst in chanting, and they would just ruin. Well, somewhere in time, I decided it would just be infinitely easier and cheaper to give this skit idea to the monsters. And that's Monster Island Buddies episode 101, Apocalypse 2017. So we're going to dive into the secrets and thoughts behind this and the first 10 episodes of the Monster Island Buddy reboots in 2 parts. We'll do 5 episodes in this part, and later in a month, we'll do another secrets video with 5 more episodes. And both of these secrets videos are possible because of my ongoing sponsorship with Bai.jp. Don't skip ahead, the pitch is very short today. Bai is a proxy service for Japanese shops and auctions. I use Bai to buy things I do videos on, like this, and this, and this. You should use Bai too, you'll find some wild things you might want. I have a special link in this video's description where you can get 2,000 yen to spend on your first order. Because I appreciate their sponsorship, I'm going to remind you of this great offer a few times during the video. It's going to look like this. I hope you not only understand, but actually give it a try. On to the secrets. As a point of reference, I like to refer to the first 100 episodes of the series as pre-Paradox, and the reboot as post-Paradox. So you're going to hear me use that terminology a lot in this video. I wanted the reboot to feel different by having more thought put into props, cinematography, focus. I wanted it to feel like a level up. And originally, the plan was for these skits to be one-off stories, similar to Frisky the Snowman. I planned it to be that you can jump in on any episode. I even debated on if I should continue numbering them. Godzilla's mouth is watering with peanut butter crust. Ugh. That's from that episode toward the end of the original run where, in my infinite wisdom, I shoved a bunch of peanut butter in his mouth. I can never quite get it all out. So this is one of a million Kevin MacLeod royalty-free tracks used on this show and everywhere on YouTube in general now. But I wanted to point out that this track is called Rock on Chicago, and its style is a direct homage to a musician named Wesley Willis. He would make these absurd songs where he was half singing over music like this, and then he'd end a lot of these songs by saying, "Rock over London, rock on Chicago," and then a commercial tagline like Heinz, America's favorite ketchup. And originally in this skit, just as this song ended, you were going to hear me say, "Rock over London, rock on Chicago," and then some slogan. And I had it edited into the skit, but I took it out in the last moment because without all that context I just gave you, that joke is confusing, so I cut it. I really did get the house clean this day. And here's Andy, not his first appearance on the show. Can I just say, this is the absolute best I ever got that lawn to look, and I'm glad it's preserved in this video. The sun scorched that yard, and it was hard to keep the grass alive. Eventually, I gave up.
I'm so glad you all made it to my 3rd annual barbecue.
So I had to learn how to cook pork ribs for this video. I didn't know how. Thank God for YouTube. And you'll see that none of this really jives with the epilogue from episode 100, and that's because, again, this was going to be a one-off thing at first. Obviously, that's a reference to the Wicked Witch in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh God, it's so good. Oh, I gotta rest. I can't breathe. I gotta keep eating. Oh.
I'm pretty sure I did the same joke with Orga in a Christmas episode where he's pigging out and then stops, and then he, like, resumes.
Oh my God, these Christmas cookies. Oh, no. Oh God, I gotta eat them all. Oh, I gotta eat these Christmas cookies. They're so good. Oh no, they're so good. Oh God, I'm so tired. I gotta stop. No, I gotta keep going. I gotta keep eating these cookies.
Wait, Godzilla's teeth look clean here. Did I switch figures already? The next episode is Date Night, and like the previous one, some ideas from this skit are ideas I came up with originally to use with real people, me and my friends. We start with the restaurant's exterior, where I snuck 2 Easter eggs. Today's special is a fried meganulon, with salad and dessert. And now we offer gluten-free humans. Let's freeze this frame for an overview. Hedora and Gabra in the back eating spinach. Have these two ever been seen together since? Probably not. A lot of people assumed Batra and Orger were an item just because they were having dinner together, as if 2 guys never ate at a nice restaurant together. Well, people said it so much that I retroactively made it canon. Godzilla has waffles and salads, Space Gauss has some type of meat, and Mothra has a plate of sweaters. I'm actually reusing the Christmas sweaters from episode 90.
Aw, I'm so happy your friend is having success with his acting. You guys must be so proud.
Space Gauss is voiced by my friend who we'll call Mish, because that's what I call her. She is one of my closest and dearest friends even today. Like Ron, I met her at work, and she knew him too. Mish and I talked a lot when we worked together, and one thing we did was make fun of couples like this, or women who basically say anything Space Gauss is saying in this episode. A lot of this actual dialogue was born from our inside jokes. And Godzilla's cynicism is pretty much my own real-life rants to Mish. Beyond Godzilla, you can make out some Mutos, and Gorosaurus is there. Of all the places I've filmed, I was unusually shy about shooting at this grocery store. This cheese rant was real. The cancer rant, all the real MIB on a bad day. Clearly, I had a trip to Philadelphia, and I brought Jet Jaguar because, as I think I've said in a previous Secrets video, he's very easy to pack and sneak around. But apparently I brought Godzilla too. I honest to God can't remember if I shot anything else with them on this trip. I don't think I did. Oh shit, Gorosaurus is with Gigan and Mechanicon again. But in a later episode it said that Mechanicon broke during the apocalypse and has been sitting in Gigan's garage. So let's just say he's broken, but they took him out for this dinner anyway. Like a Weekend at Bernie's thing. There, canon.
Orga, get the fuck out of here!
Well, just for that, I'm gonna review your movie on my movie review show next.
Piss off!
And Orga kept his word and reviewed Rodan's movie on Orga Reviews Episode 3, which is also where we learn that Rodan's got a twin brother named Brodan, and that the Rodan movie is based on what really happened to their parents. It's established that Rodan used to look like Brodan, because they were twins. We've seen that in flashbacks and pre-Paradox episodes, but Rodan got surgery to look different. See all this lore I have to do to explain a one-off joke? Okay, back to episode 102. I'm stupid proud of this next part. So Lin-Manuel Miranda made the play Hamilton. It's one of my favorite pieces of art ever made. It's about a founding father, Alexander Hamilton, but it utilizes hip-hop, soul, rap, etc. So in this universe, Lin-Manuel made the show Franklin, about Benjamin Franklin. And quick side note, the December right after this episode, Lin-Manuel Miranda released an album with more songs inspired by historical figures, and the first release was Ben Franklin's song, which he wrote with the Decemberists and they performed. Very interesting coincidence there. But I wrote this whole rap, I rapped it out, and it sounded so bad it was stupid, so I adjusted my voice to make it kind of passable.
Took a while for me to join the independence fight, but eventually I told King George to go fly a kite.
I did a lot of research to write this, so everything he raps would be accurate. It's funny that Barragan plays George Washington because Washington is a major character in Hamilton.
Ah, there I go! Oh, this is the worst moment of my life!
Ah, fart jokes.
Oh my god, that's great. Life is so great.
Is it, though?
I love this ending. Godzilla got dumped just for one moment of questioning that life is great.
So she dumped you, huh?
Yep.
Not much to say here. In a pre-Paradox episode, Gojira mentioned that he humped a potted plant and that made Biollante, but in this episode, we get to see that the potted plant is actually Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors, one of my favorite movies of all time. And there's a figure of the Jesus from The Big Lebowski, another one of my favorite movies of all time.
Hey, Rudy, what you got there?
Oh, it's Halloween pasta.
What's so Halloween about it?
It's creepy. Creepy pasta.
I made an entire plate of pasta just for this joke. That's 3 episodes in a row I prepared food for. This is also the first Halloween-themed episode in quite some time. The little arcade cabinets were something I already owned. I brought them from an Etsy shop at some point before this. And we've already seen Red King on the series in a different job, and at this point I decided he would be that guy that always has a different job when he pops up. Godzilla's reading a book that collects the first 3 volumes of scary stories to tell in the dark. Before the internet, these books were how kids learned about urban legends and creepy stories, and the art scarred us all for life.
This book is scary. I can't believe they couldn't tell that dog was a rat.
Godzilla is directly referencing the story Sam's New Pet. Alright, so when the original app, Five Nights at Freddy's, dropped, I thought it was cool and an original idea, and I played it, and the first one was the only one I played. I also noticed a lot of my comments and videos mentioned it. And of course, in a pre-Paradox episode, I did that short parody for a mailbag question. Somewhere around then, I picked up the Five Nights at Freddy's figures with the intention of putting them on the show. And by the time it did happen, people had fallen into a divide over how they felt about this franchise. There was some backlash and not so many fans anymore.
Believe it or not, he used to be in my animatronic band, back when we played Chuck E. Cheese.
We mostly specialized in customized birthday songs.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Steven. It's your special day.
Happy birthday, Steven. I hope you like to play.
So this is a reference to Jet's past, where he worked at Chuck E. Cheese, and the birthday song Freddy sings here goes way back to episode 13, after Jet is factory reset, and he sings the same song. Also to someone named Steven.
Happy birthday, Steven. It's your special day. It's your birthday, Steve, and I hope you like to play.
And sometime later, in another flashback, you see Jet sing the birthday song to Godzilla.
I hired you, this robot, to sing to you and your friends.
Happy birthday, Godzilla. It's your special day. It's your birthday, Godzilla, and I hope you like to play.
Alright. Jesus.
Godzilla is playing Godzilla on PS4. You can hear all the generator stuff.
Yeah, I know, lady. I got this.
I just saw 2 teenagers having sex on a pinball machine. I'm gonna go back and watch.
It's not very often, but once in a while you get a hint that Rodan likes to just watch sex, going all the way back to episode 6.
I suppose I'm turtle enough for 2.
We are leaving.
The Godzilla wide-eyed effect with paper is also something that goes far back, all the way to episode 11.
Well, let's just hope it works. Bottoms up.
Well, I don't feel like... Oh.
You see, this very arcade was built on a very weak section of space and time. Reality tore like a tissue, creating a gateway into a neighboring dimension.
So now we get the first reference to the Monster Island Buddies multiverse saga, which started way before Marvel and the MCU, god damn it! This pipe is a gateway between worlds, and we'll learn later that gateways have been opening up everywhere. So we jump from Halloween straight to Christmas. I believe that this is the last new recording Ron sent me before he passed. Anytime you hear King Caesar after this, it's recycled voice work. So this little rap here ends a real era and secures Ron's legacy with all of us.
Me and Rodan are cool. He knows his cousin's a fool, but when you deal with King Caesar, I'll take you to school.
I don't think we ever made another reference to Rodan having a cousin beyond this song. And Jet references how this is this sweater, as we saw in episode 90.
Give me back my sweater.
So this is one of my favorite Christmas episodes because it was just so fun to make. Anti-cameo!
Those are the rules, and now I must face What's happening now with the Godzilla from space?
I had ordered a 3D printed oxygen destroyer off some website, and it was the first time I ever brought something 3D printed. And I was like, whoa, the future! It broke immediately after I finished shooting this episode. By the way, this elf came from Target, and if I recall, there was a female version as well.
Hey, little shit! Can you make me an Xbox? No, wait! I want a PlayStation! No, an Xbox! No, wait! A PlayStation! You guys?
I'm afraid I'm a scout elf, not a toy elf. I don't know how to make presents.
Okay, so recall at the beginning of this Secrets, I mentioned that there were skit ideas I had that I was going to use with myself and my friends, and a lot of those ideas were recycled into this show. Well, one idea was going to be a bunch of teenagers kidnapped an elf and tied him in a basement and kept demanding he built them hard-to-find toys and games, but the elf couldn't do it because he wasn't a toy elf. So I repurposed some of that dialogue in these scenes with Gigan.
If you can make me a PlayStation that plays Nintendo games, I'll let you go. And I'm gonna go fight the war on Christmas.
When Gigan says he's gonna go fight the war on Christmas, it means nothing. I'm hoping you read that joke as just him fighting in some type of literal war, and not some type of religious or political thing. In the background, we can see that Space Gauss is talking to the Godzilla from another universe, and in an upcoming episode, it will be confirmed that they become a couple. At the time I made this, there were no good Krampus toys. I had to get a Funko Pop because it was all I could find back then. This might be the only time I used my fisheye lens on the show. I'm pretty sure somebody in the comments of this video gave me shit because the oxygen destroyer was used but it wasn't in water. And I was like, really? That's where this show lost you? Who would have guessed that this guy would be back as a major antagonist later on? Not me. That's a figure of Alfred from Batman. Episode 105 is the first of the post-Paradox era to open with a previously on card. This is one of those episodes that I started working on, and then it just grew and grew and grew. I kept inviting more YouTubers to join me, and it's the first big collaboration event for the channel. That Godzilla sprite is from the NES Monster of Monsters game, but this screen is configured to look like Super Mario. And here we are in Super Mario's world. Sonic is voiced by Mr. Gojira95.
Sega does what Nintendo don't, motherfucker!
Sega does what Nintendo don't is an old slogan from Genesis commercials in the 1990s during the console wars. Lots of video game references on this bar that go by fast. Fuck you, Qbert. Instead of no monsters like the Monster Island bar, this one says no Pac-Men. The cake is a lie is from the game Portal. It's hard to read, but this says Would You Kindly, which is from BioShock, a Yoshi egg, and someone wrote Level Up My Dick. Honestly, I'm not sure what this symbol is. Monster Island Frog cameo, he is technically a figure from Final Fantasy VII. References to Toad, Sackboy, Minecraft, Donkey Kong. Some of these figures I had already, and some I brought cheap just for this episode. Some Final Fantasy VII characters making out in the back there. These girls are finally in their homeworld instead of Monster Island. And there's Samus.
Does anyone know the cheat code to get to a warp zone?
Go back home, Clank, you're drunk!
Jet is called Clank, which is a reference to the game Ratchet and Clank.
Fuck Pikachu.
And here's Goji Fan 1993, who I was so excited to get for this, because I'm a fan, but also, he had retired his channel just a little bit before this video, so I got to kind of lure him back into the G-Fan kingdom and get him out of semi-retirement for this. It felt really special. The aliens from the Resistance games, who we've seen on the show many times already.
Ass shot first.
And that's the last we see of them. Obviously, Ash Shot First is a reference to the old Han Shot First outrage from the Star Wars Special Editions. Planet X is from the NES game Monster of Monsters, and there's Nintendo Godzilla, voiced by Diego Doom.
Look at this! It's a 6-inch 1992 Bandai movie monster Godzilla. The paint job is absolutely fantastic, near mint condition.
I'm obsessed with that guy's voice, and for some reason I thought it would be hilarious if this Godzilla just acted like Diego Doom and demonstrated his vast knowledge of toys. And Diego Doom was a good sport about it. He's saying Godzilla is near mint because I did indeed switch Godzilla toys I use on the show by this point. Here's King Koopa voiced by Deadzilla, which is a whole thing I'm not gonna get into in this video. Moving on. Video game rules apply in this world. One hit shrinks you, in this case to baby form, and the second hit kills you.
Let's go, boys. He who coops and gets away lives to coop another day.
That was a catchphrase Koopa used to say in the old Super Mario Super Show. Goji73 is here playing Kingdom Hearts King Mickey. And here's Altair from Assassin's Creed. Originally, Mickey was scripted to say hot dog once. And Goji73 sent me a bunch of alternate takes, and I just loved them all so much I wound up making Mickey say it many times in the video.
Hot dog! Uh-huh.
So now we have various maps from various video games, Elder Scrolls. This is Lunar the Silver Star. Don't remember what this one is, so I'm gonna get 100 comments telling me from now until the end of time. And here's the original Legend of Zelda. And then here's The Sims, and I made Andy a sim pet.
The cheat code is up, down, left, right, B, A, and start.
Of course, the cheat code is the Konami code.
Up, down, left, right, BA start.
I like this PlayStation trophy earned. And here are some Space Invaders.
You guys remember when we threw Jet Jaguar and his friend in that pipe? What was that, 2 months ago?
It has been 2 months, because the episodes mostly take place in real time. And here's the first time I ever gave the end credits a little bit of pomp. And I got to squeeze in games I loved that didn't get referenced in the episode, like Rampage and Crazy Taxi.
Stay big, G fans.
Stay big, G fans was how Goji1993 would close all his videos. It's like one frame, but there's a very quick Mr. Pockets was here in this glitch, a reference to the supernatural antagonist in the early video game reviews. And that's 5 episodes covered, and now you understand why I had to cut this into 2 videos. If you're still with me, thanks for hanging in there. And I'll see you soon for the next secrets, covering episodes 106 to 110. Till next time.